Hey, what's going on, everybody? Josh right here, back again with another video on Let's Talk Sports. It is Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Already the last day of July. Can you believe it? And it's actually kind of nice outside. Took a little walk today, a little walk to a park that's not too far from my grandparents' house, and decided to come out here and talk about the Major League Baseball trade deadline because that's going on today. It's not completely done from what it looks like. The Brewers ended up making a trade not too long ago. My phone has been blowing up all day on MLB.com, telling me all the different trades that's been going on. I know the Padres made a bunch of trades. The Mets made a couple different trades. One of them was with the St. Louis Cardinals, which I'm going to get into here in a little bit. I saw that the Red Sox, they were big buyers. The Angels, for some reason, they were buyers at the deadline, which was kind of strange, but it's whatever. It's the Angels. The Padres, of course, they're always buyers. That's not a surprise to anybody. But I'm going to talk about everything that the St. Louis Cardinals did. So far they've made technically 3 trades, but at the same time they made 4 trades if you include Eric Fetty being traded to the Atlanta Braves. I have all the trades written down on a piece of paper. Seems like the Cardinals aren't going to do anything else at the deadline, which is totally fine. If they do another trade, I'll probably talk about it tomorrow when I talk about the rest of the trades that happened. So yeah, this is gonna be a 2-part series. In this video, I'll talk about what the Cardinals did, and then tomorrow I'll get into what all the other teams did. So this is a long intro. Let's get into it. So the first trade the Cardinals made was a while back, was last week. They traded away starting pitcher Eric Fetty to the Atlanta Braves for cash considerations and a player to be named later. Not too sure who the player is going to be. Could be Ronald Acuna for all I care. And no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the Braves, they were in the market for some starting pitching. It seems like they were going after literally everybody. And like their entire the Dodgers, we all know the Dodgers, they had a problem last year with their starting rotation, with their pitching and everything getting hurt. This year it looks like the Braves are dealing with that problem, and so it looks like they're just trying to go for anybody, including Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty, of course, this year for the Cardinals has been one of the worst starting pitchers. I don't really need to get too much into Eric Fetty. Last year, I literally made a trade or video talking about when Eric Fetty was traded from the White Sox to the Cardinals in that in the 3-team trade that involved the Dodgers, the White Sox, and Cardinals. Cardinals getting Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham. White Sox got Miguel Vargas and a few prospects from the Dodgers, and then the Dodgers getting Tommy Edman from St. Louis, and then they also got Michael Kopech, I believe. They got somebody from the White Sox. I believe it was Michael Kopech. I'm going to have to look back at that video and double check. But I don't know. I was mainly paying attention to what St. Louis got, not really the Dodgers. But Eric Fetty, like I mentioned earlier, like last year we were saying how it looked like a really good trade. John Mozeliak looks like he pulled off another solid move. And then this year, yeah, Eric Fetty was kind of a disaster, especially in his last few starts. Again, not going to get into it too much. I'm going to get to the next trade, which involves the New York Mets, staying with the NL East. I think all the trades, I have it written down on a piece of paper. 3 of the 4 teams that the Cardinals made trades with involved East Coast teams. But let's get to this next trade that involves the Cardinals and New York Mets. So the New York Mets acquire closing pitcher Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. The Cardinals get 3 prospects in the trade. They get shortstop Jesus Baez, right-handed pitcher Frank Elizet. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. And they got another right-handed pitcher, Nate Dome. Jesus Baez looks like he's got some promise. Seems like this is a trade that Chaim Bloom had a lot of say in. I believe he had a lot of say in the next trade that we're going to talk about. I apologize for touching my glasses. But Jesus Baez looks like he has some potential. Seems like he's a good, power hitter, hitting prospect. I know some Cardinal fans aren't going to like that we traded for a shortstop. Hey, I mean, the guys in the low minor leagues, I mean, there are a lot of players who come up or who get drafted and they start off as shortstops and then they move to another position. That might be the case for Jesus Baez going forward, as understandably the Cardinals' shortstop depth is insane. We already have Mason Wynn in the big leagues. J.J. Weatherholt looks like he might be a September call-up this year, or he'll be on the big league team next year. That's what a lot of Cardinal fans are hoping for. And then for the other 2 starting pitchers, or for the other pitchers, Frank Elizet and Nate Dome, I don't know too much about those guys. I looked up Nate Dome on Baseball Reference, and he looks like he's having a solid year with the Mets. I think he was in rookie ball, either or high A with the Mets, and then same thing for Frank Elizet. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, Cardinal fans, how you guys feel about that trade. And then for Ryan Helsley going to the Mets. So Ryan Helsley, 31 years old. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. If you look at like all the guys the Cardinals got rid of, they're all going to be free agents at the end of the year. Kind of similar to what they did at the deadline in 2023 when they were big sellers, getting rid of Jordan Montgomery, Jack Flaherty, Paul DeYoung. Who else did they get rid of in the 2023 deadline? Those were kind of the big names. But yeah, all those guys were going to be free agents at the end of the year. Jordan Hicks is another one, currently with the Red Sox. And yeah, I don't think Cardinal fans are missing Jordan Hicks too much right now. But Ryan Helsley, I know he's having a bit of a down year. Obviously not exactly the same numbers that he's putting up 2 years ago. But the Mets, they needed some bullpen help. They needed some bullpen pieces, and they got one. So Ryan Helsley, best of luck in New York. All right, trade number 3 involves a former New York Met, and that is Steven Matz, heading to the Boston Red Sox for first base prospect Blaze Jordan. This is probably my favorite trade of the 4 trades the Cardinals have made, because I've been following Blaze Jordan for a long time. And like I mentioned earlier, I think this trade has Chaim Bloom written all over it. For those of you who don't know who Chaim Bloom is, he's going to be taking over as the Cardinals' president of baseball operation when John Mozeliak steps down after this season. Chaim Bloom, he had worked previously with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox. I know a lot of Red Sox fans hate this guy because he's the man responsible for Mookie Betts getting traded to the Dodgers. Yeah, and he's also responsible for drafting Blaze Jordan, who was drafted out of high school in 2021, I believe. And so, yeah, I've been following Blaze Jordan for a long time. Seems like he's been in the minor leagues for the Red Sox for a while now. But this year he's split time in both AA and AAA. He's had some really good numbers. Look him up on Baseball Reference or MLB.com. His OPS is really good right now, tearing it up in both AA and AAA. And then, so yeah, I feel like the Cardinals kind of won this trade already. I mean, we traded for Blaze Jordan, a top prospect, and we gave up Steven Matz, who, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So pretty much 2 months. The Red Sox are getting 2 months of Steven Matz. who's kind of like a fringe, like reliever, starter. I don't know. Steven Matz, best of luck in Boston. All right, final trade. This happened a few minutes ago. The Cardinals made a trade with the Texas Rangers. They acquired left-handed pitcher prospect Mason Molina and right-handed pitcher and prospect Skylar Hales in exchange for Phil Maton. Phil Maton, a Chatham, Illinois native. Chatham, Illinois, that's not too far from here. It's in the Springfield area. And it was also the only big league free agent signing that the Cardinals made during the offseason. I know they made some minor league deals with the old Pozo, but the only big league deal that they did was with Phil Maton, who was having a really good year. And like I mentioned earlier, he was brought in, I think, on a one-year deal. And so the Rangers, looks like they're going to be competing for a wild card spot. They're currently tied, I think, with Seattle for second place in the AL West. So Phil Maton, hopefully he'll be a good reliever in Texas. I don't know too much about the two pitchers the Cardinals got. Mason Molina, too bad he's not a catcher, and he's too bad he's not a Puerto Rican catcher like the last guy that we had named Molina. But he looks like he's got some promise. Skylar Hales looks like he's having a bit of a down year this year. He has an ERA over 7 in the minor leagues for the Rangers. He'll probably be in either AA Springfield or he'll be in Memphis. I know the Cardinals were kind of saying that they did not really have a lot of pitching depth, and they sure as hell got a lot of pitching depth. They got two pitchers from the Rangers and then 2 more pitchers from the Mets. Yeah, overall, not a terrible deadline. Obviously, the Cardinals, they did not. I would not say they won this deadline by any means, considering that they were big sellers. And that was honestly the right move to make. This team this year, the 2025 Cardinals, just are not good enough to compete. I know some people are saying, oh, they might get a wild card spot. If they do, they're probably going to be for wild card exits. But that's just my opinion. Let me know your opinions in the comments below about these trades. Again, I'll probably make a bigger video tomorrow talking about the rest of the trades that went on throughout Major League Baseball. I don't think the Cardinals are going to do anything else tonight. If they do, I'll probably include it in tomorrow's video. But with that said, that's all I got. I'm going to continue the rest of my walk. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I'll make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff about the trade deadline. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next time.